Well, hello and welcome to another exciting episode of Exceptional Living. I'm your host, April Ripley, and I'm so excited today because we have a very special guest with us. But before we get to our special guest, I just want to remind you really of the purpose for exceptional living, and that is to inform, to inspire, and to ignite the greatness which lives in you. To inform, inspire, and ignite the greatness that lives in you. So we purpose to learn life-changing concepts, strategic insights, intentional tactics, and proven tools from local and global thought leaders, renowned experts, ingenious innovators, multi-hyphenate creatives, and change agents that will equip and empower you for credible influence, distinguishable competency, and indelible impact. In a world where one is conditioned to fit in, know that you, yes, you, were created to stand out, to be exceptional, unique by design. So, welcome to Exceptional Living with Dr. April Ripley. I'm so excited for my guest today from the beautiful nation of Curacao, Shelomi Duran Balkhaus is founder and director of Excel Arts Academy, which is an academy that has existed for over 2 decades with the objective for young persons to discover, develop, and display their talents and to live their life of purpose to the best of their abilities. Shelomi is a life coach, leadership and motivational trainer. She's worked along with other leaders and organizations on change in the mentality and development of excellence in all spheres of life. She's a multi-talented songwriter and composer. She's authored more than 50 poems and short stories. She's a dancer. She's a singer of gospel songs and inspirational songs. She's produced 4 CDs, 5 singles, and 5 videos. And she has an amazing social media blogging followership called Shelly Shares. She's an entrepreneur with a company called Excellent Novum, and she has been awarded for her peculiar and exemplary leadership by the Roman Catholic School Board as the Outstanding Young Person Award. And she was in 2018 as the founder and director of Excel Arts Academy, was the highest yearly award of the Golden Apple issued by the Orangeforts, patronized by King William Alexander and Queen Maxima, to the Young and Social Initiative, the Kingdom of the Netherlands. In 2020, she wrote her first book in her native language entitled Dancing Your Life Dance. I have had the privilege of knowing Shelomi for over a decade now, and I will tell you, as I had discovered upon first meeting her, you know you have met a person of greatness, a person who's kind, beautiful on the outside, but equally, if not more beautiful on the inside. And so, Exceptional Living, please welcome my very special guest, Shelomi Duran Balkhaus. Hi, Shelomi.
Hi. Nice.
Welcome.
Yeah, thank you for the invitation.
Yes, I'm so excited. There's so much in your bio, and I thought, I want you to tell the audience about it. But I'm so excited to have you here. Isn't it wonderful that we can utilize technology, that even though you're in Curacao and I'm in the United States, here we are together.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
a wonderful thing. And, your family, it's just been a tremendous blessing. I know we've all worked together with the International Third World Leadership Association. That's where we first met there at that time in the leadership of the late Dr. Miles Monroe and Dr. Peter Morgan. And we just became like this big global family. And
yeah,
people kept saying, wait, you look like sisters.
yeah.
We would hear that often, right? And I was like, oh, that's a great sister to be related to. But, Shalomi, thank you so much again for being on the show today. And as you know, we talk about, what is exceptional living and how can one live an exceptional life? So what does exceptional living mean to you?
For me, exceptional living means living a life with a purpose. It's very important that we know who we are and why we are created for, and to be courageous and bold to be able to live that purpose and to accomplish your life's vision. For me, exceptional living is when you realize that you are not ordinary or a copy of anyone else, but you are unique. You are you have a unique purpose, and your calling is necessary for the world today. And to be able to stand out when you are selfless and ready to serve the world with your gifts and talents, ready to be able to develop the community and to give back to community, that's when we are living exceptionally, and when we have a heart of a servant and be able to give to others. So for me, exceptional living is being a great character and having love for the people.
And you can certainly see that in the work that you've done. Your bio has so much involved in it, but I know that you come not just from a ministry background, the work that you do nonprofit, but that you also have a academy that teaches leadership and arts. Tell us a little bit about that.
Excel Arts Academy, we teaches all kinds of artistic skills. We have drama, singing, circus, singing, dancing, but we use arts as a tool to develop leadership and great character. Personal development is the main topic. The kids and the youngsters get a mentor in our organization where they get personal development teachings and leadership teachings, and how to know themselves and to display all the skills and talents they have. So that's Excel Arts Academy. Um, we exist already for 23 years. We started 2020,
Wow.
2000, in the year 2000 we started, and we are doing the work, youth development and kids. The last years, so many kids are becoming part of our organization.
Wow, that's a long time. That means that something is working well, and certainly that you're impacting the lives, we'll say, of the youth, but probably also in some way the adults that have youth that are part of the academy. And I know that your program got the attention of the King and Queen of the Netherlands, Shelly. So talk to us about that. I remember seeing the video and I was like, oh, this is amazing. And tell us about there was a contest or something like that. So you tell us. It's exciting.
Yeah, it was like a contest of the whole colony and the Netherlands. We have St. Martin, Aruba, Bonaire, Saba, Statia, Curacao are all parts of the Dutch colony. And the Netherlands, which have different organizations of nonprofit and that are social and community building organizations. And we had the opportunity to contest and pitch our ID. For me, it was a great experience because for the first time, I had to pitch my ID in Dutch, which is the language we learn at school here in Curacao. We speak Papiamentu in Curacao, so it was a very great challenge. I love challenges, and we could have bring our IDs of the organization to the board of the funding organization of Orange. They call it Orange, is which the it's the founding organization of the King and Queen. They started 20 years ago with this funding organization, and they do the contest. They have do the contest test between more than 100,000 organization in this 20 years, and 200 organization could be part of this contest. And Excel Arts Academy is one of the um, organization that really had an impact on even the king and the queen, because the queen told said the day they gave us the the award, they told us one of the things that really inspired her is that we help the youngsters to develop themselves no matter the school education they got and their limitations they have. We help them to discover who they are and discover their talents, and that helps them they have their more self-esteem. So one of the great things she noticed that the youngsters were themselves, they're authentic, and they get care and become more confident of who they are because of the academy and the methods and the education we give them. So that was a very impressive moment for me. I was pregnant that day when I got the award. I was in the hospital watching from online. Thank God for the the online, and I was like so happy because I got two gifts in one day.
Oh,
I just gave birth to my daughter that day, and at the same day I got the opportunity to watch that and receive that award. We are the first organization on the island that got um, the biggest award. It's you have three organizations that can get an award, and one of them, and that at that year get the biggest apple. They call it the biggest apple. So we got the biggest apple because of the impact we done. And the king and the queen, I could not be there in Netherlands that day. So the king and the queen have decided to come to Curacao and to see the organization for themselves and have an experience with us. And that day, I could have met the king and the queen in person and be able to even sing a song of mine to them and share what the academy is doing and give the other youngsters the opportunity to share themselves, share with the king and the queens. It was an unforgettable moment for us, for the colleagues that worked so many years as voluntaries in the organization, and for the students of the academy.
oh wow, Shelly, that is so, it's amazing because really what you just shared is a lot of things. So one of the things I hear is your love and care for the community and how you have utilized your gift in arts and entertainment, but also your knowledge in leadership development and utilizing the arts to create a place and a space for young persons to express themselves creatively, but also to recognize or discover the gifts that they have, not just in their singing or dancing or, theatrical attributes, but also in their character development. And I commend you today because I know that English is not your first language. You actually speak three. um, so, and that takes courage. Life, everything really about life takes courage. Courage in our faith as persons of faith, courage to discover why we were here, and then the courage to then do something with the gifts that we have, with the talents that we have. And so to start an organization, an academy, to continually work on it as you have, and it's been now over, 2 decades, over 20 years, I'm sure in that time there were some times that you said, you know what? This is a lot. I didn't think it was going to be this much. And there may have been times where, there was, disappointment, maybe some setbacks. Um, how did you work through that? What did you do in those times? Because it happens to all of us, right? Everything is not always, you know, the high places and the great times. There's also these valley moments that we go through. How have you, in what you do there in Curacao, how have you utilized those moments to continue to keep going?
I see those moments, those seasons as opportunity for my own growth. Um, I had setbacks. I had disappointments. But when I look back and see, I've learned so much to what I've gone through. I've learned not to give up. I've learned to have more faith in the vision that God has given me. I've learned to really master myself, my emotions, my thoughts, and not live by every thought that come into my mind and go to every feelings that I feel and act on them, but to really listen and understand the vision and to live my purpose, to do things that sometimes I don't want to do or like to do, but I decide to do it because it's part of the process to accomplish a vision. I see change. My academy through this whole pandemic has gone through transition in the staff, transition for financial support. But I have see all of this as an opportunity to reinvent sometimes what we were doing, because we work with youngsters, we work with millennials, we really work with kids, and you have to continually be able to innovate, to be able to be creative. I've learned to keep on with the high standards, high moral standards, act to be excellent when everyone else want to do things just to survive, still having the heart that I want to thrive, I want to be excellent. So all the setbacks has learned me. I learned so many lessons, but beside that, I learned to know myself and the gifts and talents that I have, the abilities that I have to those setbacks and to those moments of disappointments, and how to deal, to have wisdom, to deal with people, to deal, to handle with those around you, to develop, to empower others, sometimes even through struggles and disappointments that I've been gone through. So you discover your strength in those seasons. And that's how I see those moments of disappointments and setbacks.
You said so much there. I told you, ladies and gentlemen, this is going to be a phenomenal episode because, Shelomi, just what you shared about really discovering who you are and also what you have often comes during challenging times.
Yeah.
Um, there's one of our former first ladies here in the United States, Eleanor Roosevelt, says you don't really know a woman until you put her in hot water. She's like a tea bag. You don't know what's in her until she's in hot water. And I thought about that, and there is a truth to that. As you said, over these past couple of years, COVID has literally affected everyone around the world in some way. And in that time, we had to pivot, change. As you said, you had staff change. We had, even not being able to be in person. And I would love to be at Curacao right now, but it's coming. But it's working through that. And when you think about the great innovations and creatives that have literally changed the 20th and 21st century, most of them came because of something needed and lacking. And so it actually draws on the creative nature that was put into us in the beginning by our creator. And to say that I have the ability to think, to innovate, and to create. And so I know I like to call you kind of this multi-hyphenate creative because you do so many amazing things, from singing to dance to design, to teaching and coaching. But again, just like you said, that you were determined that even in the times of disappointment or change, to still do things in an excellent way. And I think that's important too, because it really speaks to your character, and to the character of the person. And oftentimes, when things aren't going well, we say, well, whatever, like it doesn't matter. And we treat it very casually or don't care. attitude, but you said, even in those times, I wanted to make sure that I did things in the most excellent way that I could with what I had. And that really is, a powerful lesson that's actually taught in scripture, of being diligent and courageous in what you do have. And that allows you then to add more. And we talk about the story about the talents, the parable of the talents.
Yeah.
Um, but I love that you really get to know yourself. You said in times of setback,
Yes.
um, and that's amazing. So Shelley, just thinking of all of that, if you had to think of three things that have really guided your life, three things that you say, these three things define Shelomi's life, what would those be?
About what I will say. The first thing I would say to myself is, you are beautiful. Don't let anyone tell you the opposite of that. Don't believe opposite of that. You are beautiful and you are unique. The secondly, I would say, don't be afraid, never afraid to live your purpose and to be who you are called to be. Be bold. And the third is, don't be dependent on people, but trust God in everything. Trust God that He will come through in everything. Those are the three things I would really say. Um, the third one, I've learned that I should love, I should enjoy people, love people, give to people, but never depend and let your vision be dependent on people, because God will help through everything, and He will be the one that comes through people, that do everything He wants to do through people. And sometimes you have to be more completely dependent on Him to the vision. Or even if you're feeling alone, know that God is there for you. So that's what I would really say to my younger self. Trust God in everything.
Yeah, I love that. Trust God in everything. And it's interesting that are to also trust God through things, right? So it's easy to trust God in the good times, right? Because everything's going well. But it's that test that you talked about and the courage to say that even in the times that I don't understand, I thought it would be this way, it wasn't, that I'm still trusting you, God. And we
Yeah.
know that all things work together for our good, right? So
Yes.
even when what appears to be a setback, a disappointment, or a pivot or a shift that we have to make, we trust God in all things and through all things. And He never disappoints, right?
Yes.
David said, I've never seen those who love God, the righteous, those who are called of God, forsaken or having to beg or lack for anything, because God always looks out for us. And I love it. You said, be bold. Um, we've heard people say, do it afraid. President Mandela says that, courage is not the absence of fear, but it's actually, working through what appears to be afraid. Because I can only imagine, as you were sharing with us earlier, right? Even to start the academy is, it's not just like, oh, I'll wake
Yeah.
up one day and just start this academy. There was due diligence that had to be done. And, whatever is necessary there to start an organization or an entity in Curacao, there was probably resources, some time, late nights, forms, all the things that it took to start that. That's part of the process. And you talked about the process earlier, um, that, it's that we give that returns back to us in different measure. And I can see the seed that you planted there, you know, over 20 years ago, and to see you get this award, the big orange. I love it. She got the big one.
Yeah.
And I love that you said you had two gifts that day, right? The birth of your daughter, and then certainly the world, and your nation and all the nations that are a part the oversight of the Netherlands to see the work that you've done as a young person, and the impact that it's had again. So, congratulations. I'm so excited for you. I know the best is yet to come. You're still doing things there in Curacao. You have a group that you work with. Yes. And mentorship. And so, this is good today because, again, that you are surely a testament, Shalomi, of doing with what you have where you are, and
Yeah.
enjoy. Well, it sometimes you may not always enjoy the process, but it is learning through the process, trusting through the process that God is with you, He's in you, and He's for you, and that
Yeah.
it is His good pleasure to see all
Yeah.
that you have to help others manifest. So I am really excited. So I know I can't believe our time is almost up. Where did the time go? But
Oh,
it's amazing. I will say this, Shelley, if you're looking at, and I would say when you were, a young girl, what would you say to the young girl? But you actually have a daughter, so let's think for a moment. You're raising a beautiful daughter. You have handsome twin sons. What would you say to your daughter about life, about who she is as a woman? What would you say to her?
like I'm always saying to her, you're royal, you're a princess. Um, you are talented and you have something to offer to this world. She's 3. So I already telling her that she has a place in this world, um, and tell her that her purpose, that she will that to value her purpose here on earth. I always tell her, you're beautiful. You're beautiful, um, and shine that beauty, not just outside, but inside. And I always tell her that it's important for her to know God love you and mama love you. There are people around you that love you. And it's important for us to let our kids and ourselves to know that we are loved and we are cared for and that we have value. From that understanding, we will become unstoppable. I love that word, unstoppable. It's what I've been living. I believe when we are unstoppable, we never stop believing in the vision that God has given us, and we never stop living a life of purpose. Everything we do, and that's one of the things I will tell my daughter to live with great intentions, live a purposeful life. Never do things just to survive, but thrive.
Oh, that's so good. Live a life of intention. Never do anything to just survive, but do it to thrive. That's so powerful, Shalomi, because yes, when you think of survival, it's like you're looking like there's not enough, right? You get into a different mindset. But when you're thriving, you know that whatever need, whatever resource, it's supplied. And so there's a faith that comes when knowing that you were created to thrive and not to survive. And I love that you share with her every day who she is, reminding her of her identity, of course, in God, but also her identity as a female, certainly as your daughter, as royalty, and that she goes out into the world knowing that she is beautiful, she is intelligent, that she is of God's design, unique, that she was born to stand out, and I'm sure that she will follow mommy's footsteps fairly closely in her own way.
Yeah.
So yeah, so Shelley, I want to thank you again for being on our show today. And certainly before we go though, I would love to open if you have any just closing thoughts that you'd like to share with our audience, um, please.
Y- Yes, one thing I really want to share is the importance of the use of arts and entertainment, not just to express history and express the present culture, but to reflect and speak the future into existence. We want to have a high moral standard people, people that have great character, so we can use arts and entertainment to transform people, to develop people, and to have a great culture here on earth when while we live here. So I really want to encourage all the artists out there, all those in entertainment, all those in the relaxing and beauty entertainment, fashion. Just let us speak the future, the ideal future, into existence with our arts, and go into education and educate people to what we do. Help people to become their true self, their authentic self, and the one that God has designed them to be, and to reflect the culture of heaven here on earth. That's what I believe in. We can use arts to reflect a new culture.
Love it. Thank you so much. So art can be transformative. It can not only reflect the culture, but it can create a different culture, one
Yes.
that builds up, that lifts and inspires, just like your music, Shelley, just like your Arts Academy, your leadership mentoring, your coaching, and all the things that you do. There it is, the common thread that's woven through this beautiful tapestry of your life and your impact is that you were created for greatness, unique by God's design. Creativity and innovation flow through you, and you've been able to create an atmosphere and create an environment for others, not just to survive, but to flourish and to thrive in their own God ordained purpose and gifting. So thank you so much, Shelley. I am just so honored to have you today. My sister, yeah, I think we may be able to say we're related too because we kind of look
Yeah.
alike. But thank you so much, and please give our love and regards from our entire global family here at Exceptional Living to your family there and to the nation of Curacao. And our prayer for you is that more things, more impact, more influence there in the nation and around the world for the work that you do. I celebrate and honor you as my sister, as a woman of influence and greatness. And I thank God for you. And I thank God for having you as a part of my life. Thank you so much for being here today. I just want to say again, thank you for all who turned in to Exceptional Living today. You can go right now and click like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. But look, don't just keep it to yourself. It's always a good thing to share when you've got good news. So share it with other persons. Again, thank you for tuning in today. And remember that you were created not to fit in, but to stand out because you are unique by design and created to live an exceptional life. Have a great morning, afternoon, or evening. God bless.